Afrobeats is dying. Isn't it crazy that this has been the general consensus by the same set of people that accused Wizkid and Burna Boy of denigrating the genre not long ago? Think about this. Every year we echo the same thing. Afrobeat is dying, or the genre is losing its substance. Yet, instead of asking all the right questions so we can get to the root of the problem, we've jumped straight to diagnosis, and the worst part, without prescription. And I cannot believe I have to say this now. Maybe it's time for us to finally dismantle this whole system, whatever it is, and then build something that is deeply rooted in core cultural movements without assigning any limiting labels to them. That way we can fully take advantage of our creative freedom and then build something that does not take permission nor need approval to thrive. First things first, we have to understand that the commercial part of Afrobeat is heavily dependent on economics. It is not immune to the things happening around the world, and this is not just peculiar to Afrobeat. Genres like hip-hop, even pop music, is facing the same thing. Album sales are down, and even though breakout artists are popping up every now and then, sustainable growth has been very difficult. And if you take a closer look at it, there are several factors involved. The attention span of the average consumer is cooked. Now, the traditional marketing is not going to give you the same result that it would give you a couple of years ago. So now more than ever, it is beyond the music. You have to impose your personality, be it authentic or manufactured, but you have to stand for something that ultimately represents your brand that would appeal to the type of audience you are trying to reach. If anything, Afrobeat is at a perfect spot. I do not care if I'm the only one with this opinion, but Afrobeat is at the perfect spot. We've gotten to the point where we no longer have to rely on the traditional, say, OG artists, the big three, big five, or whatever you might like to call them, to project the culture. Now we have incredible talents popping up every now and then. And if you're not catching up to that, that is your problem. It is a you problem, and it has nothing to do with the genre. And like I said, maybe we've gotten to the point where we have to dismantle what we call the Afrobeat genre. I cannot believe I have to say this now, because I'm beginning to see why artists like Wizkid and Burna Boy try to distance themselves from that label. It is limiting, and those of you complaining about the growth of Afrobeats are the enforcers of that stereotype. Take, for example, artists like Z Level 10, Tochi Benford, you have Igwe Aka, you got people like Top King, 11. These are young artists. I don't know if they're independent or not, but these are young artists with brand new sounds, unlike anything we've heard before. And for the fact that it does not comply to the traditional standards does not make it bad. We've gotten to a point where we can no longer ascribe a title or a name to the type of music they make. Yes, it borrows elements from our traditional sounds, but maybe we'll have to let go of that label. And I'm being serious this time. This might be controversial, but I now believe that a time has come where we have to consider leaving out the Afrobeat label on every single thing that comes out from this culture. Maybe that way we'll stop limiting ourselves to what it means to actually be a progressive music industry, since we have a certain expectation of every artist or the type of sound that should be acceptable. Meanwhile, we should be looking at how to improve on connectivity with the audience and how to produce, sounds that are more relatable, more acceptable, and not what we think should be acceptable or should be suitable for the culture. That way, we have enough creative freedom to progress into or enter the arena where we are no longer limited by titles, names, or being stereotyped into a monolithic genre or sound. And like I said earlier, if nobody sees this, I do not care. This is 360 Playlist, and if anything, what we stand for is decentralized music with democratized opinion. Here we are going to be amplifying every single talent that dares to, break out all the stereotype. You do not have to conform to the standards. Just be you, do what you know how to do best, and trust me, the right audience is going to find you. Afrobeats is not dying, but at some point, it might have to make way for people to be able to, creatively express themselves without tying themselves to the genre. We'll forever be grateful for whatever the genre as a title or as a name has given us. But at this point, we'll have to look at ourselves as a decentralized system that can produce any kind of sound without tying ourselves to a label. Now, all that being said, let me know what you think in the comments.